Well, hello. Welcome to the Jennifer O'Brien Show. I am your host, Jennifer O'Brien. That's crazy. Like, I'm hosting a show with my name in it. I mean, what are the odds of that happening? I'm so glad that, that synced up like that. So, anyway, I am super excited because I have an incredibly cool guest today. Her name is Adeline Turner. She is a comedian and she's based in the DC area. I don't know what they call that, Maryland, DC. There's a name, and I'll have her tell me what that is. But I got to actually meet her this summer at a conference, and she became my comedy daughter because we looked a little similar, and everyone thought like maybe I was her mother. So I decided to adopt her. And I'm really excited for you all to meet her today. And I'm gonna bring her up. Adeline, come on in. How you doing?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm excited to be here.
Me
Um,
too.
yeah, so I was just sharing how I adopted you this summer
Mhm.
at the conference because I think
Yeah.
everyone thought we were like, I think a few people thought we were the same person because I think I got called your name.
Mhm.
And then they started to really pay attention, be like, oh, maybe mother, daughter. And then I was like, that's my
Someone
daughter.
came up to us, I think, and asked if you were like my mom.
Mhm,
I
mhm.
just can't remember who.
I killed them because I was like, "No, I don't wanna look that old." No, I'm kidding. Yes, and then I was like, "Oh my gosh, yes, I could be your mother," and I realized I don't have a comedy daughter, and I adopted you right there on the spot.
I know there
Um,
was no conversation. We just kind of like
it just happened.
made it happen. Yeah.
Yeah, like, no paperwork, there was no, red tape, it just was like, "Do you
Nothing
want?" And then I
fancy.
just took you right
Mhm.
there. I left you actually where you
You
were,
did leave
but
me, but it's okay.
yeah, it's okay. I mean, that might have been weird if I took you, you know what I mean? Back
Yeah, no,
home with
that would
me.
definitely be a bizarre situation.
Yeah.
But I've
I'd be
never
like, we'd be
been.
on Dateline right now. This would be
We
a
would
whole different
definitely be on
conversation.
Daylight. Chris Hansen would be up in here. Um, but no, you're from Atlanta.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
never been to Atlanta, so
Well,
I
you're
would have
gonna have to
actually
come.
really enjoyed. um, I hear great things about it. Like I hear the food is awesome. I
Yeah.
hear it's just a vibe, and
You
I'm gonna have to
know,
make it out there one of these days.
you will. You will we'll have to do, like, some sort of comedy show, and you gotta come, and you will do this whole, like, mother-daughter thing. Like, maybe
Oh
we could do a rebirth. I don't know.
yeah. Ooh,
I don't know how far you wanna
I
take it.
like that. A
I'm just
rebirth,
saying, let's
yes.
talk about it. I mean, visually, it's gonna be disturbing for the audience, but you and
It
I will
is.
feel such a connection.
People will be traumatized, but
Yeah, all for comedy. So wait, what is the area you live in? Because it's not it's like the DC it's like this triangle, you guys call it something. What do y'all call that?
so the DMV consists of like DC, Maryland, and Virginia,
Uh-huh.
but I'm actually born and raised in Virginia.
Okay.
So I'm like a Virginian native, but I go to DC for a lot. Like I
Mhm.
go there um for literally everything because where I'm from there's
Mhm.
really not that much.
Right.
There's a nice Dunkin' Donuts
Ooh,
that's
do
been there for
tell.
some time.
Oh, wow.
um there's a Dolo's supermarket, which is like a nice little Latin market.
Oh,
um
okay. Ooh la
so
la.
yeah.
So wait,
And
so
well,
I
actually,
have
you
to
know what, they
what?
just put a casino because
What?
where I'm from, it's kind of like a little smaller town, but they just put like this random casino there. It's
Random.
called Rosie's, and it's just so random, but I want to go there just to check it out.
You should go there, just go in and say, "Hey, can I speak to Rosie?" And just
Right.
see if that she even exists. I'm just curious why that name.
I
So wait, so
know.
is it legal there? I mean, I've noticed that, like, in Florida, like Jacksonville, when I go to visit, they have, like, a casino, and I'm like, "Wait, isn't this supposed to only be on, like, Indian reservations or on, like, Carnival cruises or Vegas?" Like, certain areas or Nevada, I guess all Nevada. I don't understand the laws of
I don't
gambling.
understand the laws either.
I don't know.
I don't. Yeah.
So, it's gambling. So, you have a casino. Is it
Mhm.
right there next to the is it near the Dunkin'? Is
It's
that's the
literally right. It's like right
oh,
across from the
stop, like,
Dunkin'
is there
Donuts. Yeah.
literally nothing else in your little town there?
Ooh,
No? Oh, wow.
there's a
Okay.
post office. They have a really good car wash, like a self car wash.
Ooh, okay. Well, if I'm ever in town, I'll know what I got coming to me.
Yes.
So, okay, so tell me, you mentioned a Latino supermarket. So tell me a little bit about your heritage, because yes, I know you have a little Latin in
So,
you.
um, like I said, I was born and raised in Virginia.
Mhm.
My mother is from Panama,
Okay.
and my dad is American, but his mother is also from Panama. So I have it like the
Yeah.
Latin blood. I have it kind of like on both sides.
Yeah.
But it's so I get a lot of people that would be like, "Oh, like you don't look Latina," or like, your last name is Turner. Like, how do you get up with Turner? And
Yeah. Yeah.
technically, your last name is your father's
Right.
father's name, and that's the
Right.
only side of me that's not Latina. So that's
Right.
why I have that last name.
Exactly. It's yes.
Um, but yeah, no, uh,
So
yeah,
your mother and grandmother are both from Panama,
yes,
and I would
Panama.
imagine your father, he's also so he had like as what was his father like your grandfather, was he English, American? Like what's that heritage? What's coming down
European,
the pike for you?
European.
This is a 23andMe interview. I'm really just trying to go really deep to what we're gonna
Yeah,
discover
I've
here about you.
asked. I've asked, and the answer I always get is like formerly known as the USSR. And so I'm like, okay, that could be like Poland, that could be like
Right.
a bunch of countries,
He's
but
very mysterious
European.
about
I'm gonna
that.
just say European.
That's good. That
And
works. That works. Just
um
make it easy.
yeah, so my dad was born in San Fran, and so like his side of the family is kind of like on the West Coast.
Gotcha.
And I love the West Coast. Like if I could live there, I would, but I'm broke.
Yeah, it
So,
is a lot more expensive out there. So,
yeah, it's like
maybe one day.
one
Um,
day that would be great.
is that a dream for you? Have we just discovered a dream on the show today for you, Adeline, is moving out to the West Coast? Is that
I don't even know if it's necessarily a dream. I just know that I'm so happy when I'm there. Like
really? Well,
yeah,
girl, go
I
for it.
feel free. I feel myself. I feel like
Huh.
I'm at
Okay,
home, even though I was not born there.
right.
So
Something and you. Well, you know what? There you go. I don't know, we were talking earlier before the show, I'm starting to talk to you about food and different things and, nutrition. And now I'm
yes,
going to talk to you about goal setting. So you got to set
okay,
those goals, Adeline. You got to get those like
yes.
dream charts out, set those goals, visualize. So, maybe something's there for you. So don't give up on it. I know you're broke right now, but you're young. You're so young. Like who's not broke in their young 20s? I mean, I
Trust
actually
fund babies.
yeah, that's kind of true. Okay, there's a lot of people that aren't. But I feel you. Like I was a single mom when I was like your age and but I was raised by I broke was I just it was very easy for me. Yeah, I was really good at it. So if you need any tips, I'll be happy to help you there.
I appreciate you.
Yeah, you're
I'm like,
welcome.
I'm so glad that because I've never done a podcast, but I'm glad it's with you because
Yeah.
even though I've met you just once or I guess a few times for the
Mhm.
conference, I feel comfortable with you and I vibe with you. And I feel like even though we don't really know each other super well, I feel like we
Yeah.
have a lot in common.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I feel like our sense of humor is similar as well. Like when I saw that you did the Real Housewives of Quarantine, like
Mhm.
you don't understand. I love that show. And I'm not proud that I love that show, but I love that show.
Oh,
And
really? Okay.
yes, it's a guilty pleasure of mine. So when I saw that you did that, I just was like, oh my gosh, I love her.
Oh, so you like it. Okay, Fifi says, "Good at being broke." LOL. Yes. Listen, I'm professional
I'm a
at it.
professional.
Listen, poverty life hacks. Check out my website. I got all sorts of things on there. So wait, okay, so you like so let's enough about you. You mentioned me and the housewives, so let's talk about that.
Mhm.
So no, okay, so somebody that's great that you really get into that show. So you did like my little web series of the crazy characters spinoff because yeah, they're nothing really like the housewives, but they were my version. That's all I could
Right.
bring. I can only
Mhm.
do what I could do.
But I
So
mean, the accent is great. Like,
oh, okay.
I
Well, I
every time
know
I try to do like a New York or New Jersey, they always get blended together, and I sound crazy. But you nailed it. You
did
literally
I?
nailed
Oh,
it.
well, let's just keep talking about that for a minute. No, I'm
No, we
I'm
can keep
kidding.
going.
Let's
We can
talk
keep
about
going.
me. Listen, I know I brought you on the show today, but let's just focus on me for a minute. No. So
It's
I
great. No,
would
it's
like
great.
to know because you're funny. Like when I saw you, because at the conference you got to get up and you did some time and I loved your sense of humor. You're very gosh, you remind me of so many different comedians back in the day, and my mind is going blank right now. But I just loved seeing you up there. You were very relaxed. I mean, you're a very chill comedian. Like
It was
I'm,
the NyQuil. It was the
it's the
NyQuil.
night
I
for
don't know
that
if you
house.
remember. I was like really sick.
I remembered. I was
I
like,
was
oh, this little baby girl got COVID. Oh well, I guess we'll all find
honestly,
out
it
soon
probably
enough.
I don't even know. I don't even know, but
Yeah.
I was not okay. And so I was like pretty much medicated that whole time. So that's probably
Wow.
why I was like relaxed.
Yeah.
Because I had taken like Mucinex, NyQuil, like
Yeah.
just anything to numb the pain.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, well, you did well, I loved your and I kinda get that. You just have a really chill vibe, and I really enjoyed watching you perform. And, there was you kind of you're so young. I mean, how long you been doing stand-up?
I've been doing stand up like I would say like 5, like
Mhm,
4, maybe 5 years, but
mhm,
it hasn't been like a consistent 4 or 5 years. Like I always kind of like take breaks or honestly, this past year with COVID, that was probably when I was like doing it the most consistent, like doing shows and I took like a class and that was really helpful.
mhm.
But yeah, I would say like 4 or 5 years.
4 or 5 years. Oh, so let's and I wanna kinda circle back, but anyway, just watching you, you seem really rested in who you are, really
Appreciate
comfortable in your
it.
voice, and you were just fun to watch. I mean, sometimes when new comics get on stage, like, you can feel their, anxiety, and sometimes they can be super funny, and it's not that they're not good, but I'm a feeler, so I'll be more focused on, are they okay? How are they feeling? They seem insecure. Not that we all don't have our moments, but you
Mhm.
kinda learn to you that gets
You got
overridden,
to
so
push
you hide
through.
it, you push through, and you keep going, and you even as a young comic, I didn't feel from you this sense of like, "Oh, am I funny enough? Am I good enough?" And I think that's when you can come on stage as a comedian and just rest in, "Hey, this is who I am, and here's what I gotta say." It puts your audience at ease so we can just listen versus the comedian who's kinda young, maybe still hasn't figured out their voice, who's like, am I funny enough? Am I good enough? And I pick up on that anxiety, and I didn't pick up any of that with you. I enjoyed your set. I love your writing. It's very quirky. It's very dry, and your delivery. It's really fun to watch. And you impersonated your mom, which and you did it
I
earlier.
did.
So I love that little because you're kind of the whole time you're just in your voice, and then you kind of go into this Latino mother, and that was kind of really a nice little because I'm very high, I'm kind of opposite on stage. I'm a little like, get her, like, calm her down right now, like she needs to, and I've chilled out over the years, but I'm a little more high octane, and that's
Mhm.
just who I am. I don't know how to, I have had to really kind of rest more in that and not be so all the time, but I love your um what's the word? Just how you come, your demeanor. It's very,
Oh,
kind of puts you at ease. And I don't see a lot of females have that. So I really
I
like to
am
see
very
you.
flattered. Thank you.
So, okay. So I want to back up. You mentioned COVID was actually a time that you were doing a lot more stand up, which is kind of different from what I've heard from a lot of comedians. So, what was that looking like for you?
So basically, COVID happened and I was spending a lot of time on social media and I came across this comic. I don't know if you've heard of him. His name is Martin Amini and he's super chill. Hey.
Hey, Martin.
Um, and he was offering like a comedy class
Okay.
and I was like, okay, I need a comedy class because I need to this is what I like to do. This is what makes me happy and I just want to get
Mhm.
good at it.
Okay.
And so I did the class and the
Mhm.
class was essentially just like a safe space
Mhm.
where you could like do 5 minutes and then he'll just give you feedback. It's not like an actual class where you're like sitting down and like taking like, you know what there's no lecture or anything. It's literally just like a safe space where you can practice your material and get
Mhm.
feedback.
Mhm.
And that really helped me. I and then that class developed into like a mini show
Mhm.
because Martin had gotten a new venue. If you haven't checked it out, it's called Room 808.
Room
If
808.
you're
Okay.
yeah, if you're in DC, it's a smaller venue, but it's the vibes are there and they have a lot of great comics pull up and it
Mhm.
developed into like a little show every Wednesday and I was like I could I had never I went from like not doing comedy to like doing classes and then doing the shows and at one point
Mhm.
I was like I actually like this is a lot. You know, I miss the class, honestly. I miss having that like safe space where I could
Mhm.
like try out material because you know, I've been trying to do more clean comedy.
Mhm.
Um for me it's a little bit of a challenge because people who know me know that like I talk about all types of stuff. You know what
Mhm.
I mean? But
Mhm.
I do really like clean comedy. I feel like it's super like I've gotten more positive feedback from clean comedy, I feel like, than I have
Mhm.
just like
Mhm.
regular, what do they
Right.
call it? Some uh regular comedy. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Well, yeah, yeah. I mean, yes. I mean, versus blue, I guess you would call it blue comedy or just regular. I think what the reason clean works if you're really wanting to take it to a professional level, I mean, when you have a clean set, you can go anywhere versus if you're the person
Literally.
that be like, "Oh, we she's gonna have to clean it up," or "Can she clean it up?" If someone's looking to book for any event, I mean, knowing that you can have a clean comedian and you don't have to sit there and worry about what are I think you have potential to get a lot more work. Um,
Right.
and everything I've ever seen of yours, well, I've only seen you once, and it was clean, obviously. So
Yeah,
you're at a
I
gospel
had to
comedy
make that
thing, so
clean.
you had to clean it up for the gospel comedy conference a little
Yeah.
bit. Yeah. So,
But it's honestly like so rewarding because like I said, like I talk about all types of stuff. Like
mm,
I really but so for me to it's like a personal accomplishment for me, like when I'm able to do like a clean set. I'm like, wow, like,
mm,
you know, if anything, people find it super admirable that, you know, they can laugh and
yeah,
not feel uncomfortable or some type of way because of the content.
mhm.
And yeah, no, I love clean comedy. I want to do more. I want to do more.
That's great. Yeah, that's great. So when you took this quote unquote not really writing comedy class, you said you would just do your time and kind of get the feedback. Did you guys ever like work on writing and styles of writing, or was it more or less just keep working on your act and let's keep, I mean, just
Well,
curious.
yeah, I mean, all of the comics that were in the class were kind of like on different levels, you know what I mean? So like when everyone went up, they had different things to work on. Like for me personally, I struggled with just like being comfortable. And that's
Mhm.
why it's so funny to me because you're like, you're so chill and no, 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 no. I'm like, that's why I'm telling you. I feel like it was because I was on
You
NyQuil
worked it. You got better at it.
because I
Yeah.
have major anxiety and I struggle with hearing my voice,
Mhm.
you know, talking in front of people And so that was one thing that I was working on in the class, is just being uncomfortable. Being
Mhm.
comfortable with being uncomfortable. That's what Martin would say, the teacher
Yeah.
slash comedian. Um
Mhm.
and um yeah, I mean, other people were working on like their actual material. I was working on my material too. It was good though, because I there were a few times where like I would go up and I'm like, that did not come out as funny as I thought it would be.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's such a humbling experience.
Yeah, because in your head, at home, you're like, "Oh my gosh, this
This
wait
is
till they
good.
hear this one. This
Oh, they're
they're
gonna
gonna fall out of their chairs," and you're like, "Nobody wait, that's not I was gonna hold here for, like, a really long, long applause break, but nothing's happening." Let's see what Fifi has to say. She says, Who likes their own voice? I sound like a medicated Martian." You know? That's
yeah,
a tough one. Like, for years, I could never watch any video, listen to anything, like, I would yell,
it's
like, I
cringe.
had so much, like look, I'm a work in progress, like, I had so much, like, oh my like, I would just yell at myself, like, "What do you do? That's so stupid." Like, I would it was not pretty. So, I've worked on self-love, and now
That's
I
good. That's
can watch
good.
stuff back, but there's even times I'm like, "Oh, I don't wanna hear it. I don't wanna hear myself."
Yeah,
I
no,
don't
it can
know.
be hard. And
Yeah.
honestly, I'm still not over like a few weeks ago, I went to my really good friend, she has like this taco place called Tacos Anitas,
Oh,
and they had a
okay.
little karaoke, you know what I'm saying?
Ah,
And I was humbled real quick. I
yeah?
really thought I had a decent singing voice. And
Uh-oh.
yeah, I'm still hurt. I'm still hurt, you know, hearing your voice crack on a
Mhm.
mic is
That hurts.
it hurts. That
Yeah, that
still hurt.
hurts.
I'm still hurt.
Well, okay, I have to ask, what was the song? Is it, like, something I would know, or is it, like, one of
No,
Fifi's
and
songs?
that was
I'm not
probably where I messed up. That's actually
okay.
probably where I messed up because I set my expectations too high. I
Mhm.
sang this song called Basta Ya, and it's by Jenny Rivera, who's like this amazing Mexican singer who
Okay.
passed away. I can't remember when she passed away, but she's a legend.
Does she
And
have, like, a sh does she have, like, a documentary movie about her? Because I feel like
I'm
every
pretty sure she does.
Latino
And she at one
superstar
point had
has
a
their
reality show with her children, and
yeah,
she's just I love her, and her
okay.
voice is beautiful, and she's got like this like
She's got it.
oomph in her voice. And
Mm,
but
mm.
I love this song, so I was like, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah,
And
you felt it.
yeah,
Was it the
I
tacos? Was it the
I
Ritas? You were like, "I'm
yes,
gonna nail it tonight," and
I did not.
okay, so, like, I have to ask, like, was the place quiet? Did people cheer you on? Was it, like,
You
an
know,
encouraging crowd, or did
you know
you
what? Thankfully, my really good friend
yeah,
was there,
yeah,
and it was just like a few people, so it
mhm,
wasn't too bad.
okay, so,
But
if you're gonna
it's
bomb,
just
do it in front of as little people as possible and hope they're not recording.
that
There
is
it
the
is.
best case scenario, honestly. If
Yeah,
you're ever gonna bomb, like that's literally the best case
yeah,
scenario.
yeah.
Mhm.
You weren't live streaming it or anything crazy to where
No,
it's like, "Oh, no, that's out
never,
there." Okay,
never.
so no to karaoke with you.
Yeah, no. I'm gonna try and redeem myself eventually. I've been practicing.
Oh,
Actually, like, I don't really claim to be a singer, but I like to sing, even though like my voice is like not there. Like I like to sing. I like to I made a rap at one point. Like, um I hear beats and I'm just like, okay, I like this. And sometimes
mhm.
I'll just like vibe with it. And
Oh,
I'm gonna try
we're
and redeem myself.
freestyling,
I
huh?
will be redeeming myself. I
You
don't know
should
when, but
redeem
it's gonna
and you know what?
happen.
And record that redemption.
I
That's the
got it.
recording I'd like to see, where you've
Okay.
practiced, you're ready, and you're gonna go out there and just nail it. So I wanna just delve quickly into how you kind of like were like, "I'm gonna do stand up, like, I'm gonna be a comedian." I mean, and what was it like growing up in Virginia? I guess you're half English, half what would you say if you're from Panama? Pandemonium?
Panamanian.
Pandemanium?
A
Am I s
Panamanian, so no.
Panamanian,
Yeah.
that's better. That sounds better. Okay, so what
Yeah.
was that like? I mean, I don't know what Virginia's like. I mean, is it what's did that kind of play into any of your comedy that you know,
Well, I
do
think
now?
a lot of, like, just I'm an only child too,
Okay,
so I feel like being an only child, you kinda have to, like, find ways to entertain yourself, and,
sure.
like, I've always just been really, like, all over the place, like, laughing, and I was always getting in trouble, with the teachers for talking, like, that was every day.
Yeah.
I got my friends in trouble too for talking, I'm sorry. If my friends are watching this, probably not, but it's okay. I've always just been like really goofy, and I I went to community college for a little bit, and then they were having like a open mic,
Mhm.
and I went for extra credit, and one of my friends from high school was there. And he was like, you should go up there. Like, you should just tell like one of your little stories, like from lunchtime. Remember when we do those little stories? And I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know. And then I signed up, and then the host actually came up to me and was like, "Hey, you're the comedian." And I was like, "I mean, I guess." He was like, "Just wishing you good luck. I mean, the last time we had a comedian, like it didn't really go well, but
Okay.
da 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 da." And I'm like, "Thank you for that. Thank
Yeah.
you."
Is that right before you went on?
Yeah, I'm like, and that was the first time. That was the very first time that I had been on a stage and
Mhm.
performed comedy. And honestly, I remember talking about the parking situation at the community college, but I don't even remember
Mhm.
what. But it went well.
Yeah.
And that that was like my first step. And
Mhm.
then my next biggest like thing that I had done was I had been encouraged by my dad. He introduced me to you met Pastor Valina,
Mhm. Yep.
and I didn't really think anything of it. And I was introduced to her, and I went to her show, and I didn't even know anything about clean comedy or anything.
Mhm.
And I went to her show, and I was just blown away. Like, she's just so funny,
Mhm.
and like it was all clean, and I was like,
Mhm.
whoa, I like this. And
Yeah.
so she encouraged me to go to the conference, not this past year, but the year before. I guess the year before, because they can't.
Right. Because
I
COVID.
don't even know. I have no sense of time at this point. But
Yeah.
I went to that conference,
Mhm.
and there was a competition, and I didn't even think twice about doing it because I was like not there. I just I was in a dark place mentally. I
Yeah.
was
Wow.
just not.
Welcome to the life as of a comic.
Yeah, I know.
Music,
I
baby.
was really living my comedic life
Yeah.
at that time. And she just encouraged me to, and actually another comedian
Mhm.
who goes by K-Mac,
Mhm.
she she just offered to sponsor any comedian to be she wanted to sponsor like a new comedian to be in the competition. So basically
Mhm.
like pay the $50 um to be in the competition. And then Pastor Valena was like, you should do this. She just had so much faith in me, and like she's like, you can do this, you
Mm.
can do this. And I was like, I don't think I could do it. She's like, you can do it. And I
Aw.
did it. And it was honestly like it's just it was crazy.
Aw.
It was so crazy.
Was it one of those life-changing moments for you where you're like, "Oh, wait, hold on. There's something here I'm called to do." Yeah, and it like you said, you were in one of those dark moments, so it was like God was using that as a thing to say, "Hey, look, I'm gonna take your pain." And, like, honestly, I will tell you, comedy is that's what comedy is for me, because you and I we can sit in
Yes.
our pain all day long, but when we can actually take it and put it in the light and share some of the stuff we've been through or some of the hard it's like all of a sudden it gives that pain a purpose, and we're and then the laughter is coming from it, and the healing is coming from it, and it's such a full circle thing for me, comedy, because listen, I was not in a great place starting in I was a single mom. I talk about darkness,
I'm like, is there anyone in a good place that does comedy? I'm like,
Yeah. Well, we don't like those people. No, I'm kidding. You're like, you're just in denial. But no, I think that for me, and now I have a focus, like, right? So when you go through hard things as a comedian, I'll speak only for me. It's like, I know that this is just part of your story. Like now that's become part of your story, this comedy journey and how it's almost like it gave you a focus, instead of having to sit with all that. It's like, for me, I can take all that stuff I used to just sit with and put it to work and write
right.
write the jokes and create the content. Um, it's better than just sitting in that place of like,
Yeah,
so it seems like that was a moment for you. So
it
you
was a
do
huge
this.
moment because I had
Wow.
just realized so much
Mm,
about myself as a person. Like I've always struggled. Ugh, my voice is getting all like,
that's
ugh. But
okay.
no, I've
Come on,
always
keep it
struggled
real.
with like, confidence and like
Mhm.
um self-love. And
Yeah,
so when that moment happened, like so many people believed in me, but like I
yeah.
was the only person that just did
Wow.
not believe in myself. And
Mhm.
then the moment that I trusted the process and trusted the people,
Mhm.
the good people around me.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh,
sorry, did you hear my cat?
he's confirming. He's like, "Amen." He's confirming.
I love him.
Yeah.
Even though I'm allergic to him, like
Even though he makes you super sick, you love him.
yeah.
Did you say it's a toxic relationship? Is that what you
It's
said
very
earlier?
toxic. It's very toxic. And
Oh.
he's still unemployed. He's still
Oh.
unemployed. He hasn't killed a single insect this
Oh.
entire fall. See, and I'm like, I need you to kill a
Oh.
spider or something because like they're
Yeah.
starting to come out now, and he just wants to like lick himself.
He needs to earn his keep. So
Yes,
maybe he needs to take a class. Let's
he
see,
should.
my sister says Adeline Turner. That's my sister. So that's your aunt.
Ah,
You have an
hi,
aunt in comedy.
Robin.
Yeah. Mhm.
Tía, ¿cómo estás?
Um, so wow, I had no idea. So that was that light bulb moment for you. You do this kind of, I guess they called it, the woman sponsored you. You did this workshop, or I don't know, what do they call that? I can't really think of the name.
It was like, are you talking about with
Competition.
Martin?
Was it a comedy like competition thing that you signed up that for this conference and then you have this
Yeah, so it
moment?
was the LOLGCA conference, the one that we went to, but just years ago.
Yeah, and then what was the outcome of that? So you said just all these people believed in you. Did
Yeah,
you
I mean, I won, which is crazy, but at that point, I
what?
didn't even care about winning. I was just like, I felt so good and
Wow. If
like
that's not confirmation, because I went this last year and there is some super talented, funny people. So to go in and win that's huge. I believe that's confirmation, like, hey, you're on the right track. Like, you
that's
know what I
it
mean?
was it was insane. It was seriously insane. I was like
Hmm.
it I don't even know like cuz I've never been like really good at anything in my life, honestly. Like I really have
Yeah.
like I've never been like sports or
Mhm.
like um even scholastically, like I
Yeah.
don't really, so I've always wanted to be like I've always been like in theater and stuff like that. So for me like to win something, like I
Yeah.
don't even think I've won a game of bingo. Like I was just so I was in shock
Yeah.
and
You're like, "Wait, I'm actually good at something? Wait,
I
there's
was,
something I'm, like, good at?" And
yeah.
and I think sometimes it's like some people find that very young, or some people find that, but sometimes it's a journey to figure out what that thing is that, like, is just kinda naturally gonna come to you, and I think God gives us all, like, I call it your genius, I call it your gift, and you don't really have to work too hard, not that you don't get better at what that is or work towards that goal, but it's kind of an effortless, just kinda it just comes easy. So, it's really interesting in that moment that you got that connection. So, we're gonna have to wrap it up here, but if for people that would like to hear more about you or check in or all that, where can people find you out there? I think I have your Instagram is at
Yeah.
Sweet Adeline with 2 E's at the end.
Yep.
And yeah, where else could people, if they
I
want
mean,
to reach
I'm
out?
cool with just that for right now. I
There.
personally like haven't really been branding. We had this conversation
Mhm.
before. I don't really like have a brand. But yeah, no, Instagram. I like
We're gonna
Instagram.
start with Insta today. We're starting with Insta, and then as your comedy mother, I'm gonna take you under my wings, and we're gonna work on getting you some other places because you're super funny. You really are, and I remember being young and funny, and like I people would say, "Hey, do you have this? Do you have that?" And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I went and did like a photo shoot one time behind like the Outback with this guy who was a photographer, and I'm like, "Oh, headshot, here we go." Thank God we just did
You were
photos, you know.
out back at Outback. I
I
love
was,
that.
I am. So it's like, it kinda came. So those things come in time. You just kind of along the way, then it's like, "Oh, I need a business ca oh, I need a" and now it's so much. So, yeah, it can
Mhm.
get a little overwhelming, but, you're definitely worth investing in and getting your self out there and
You're
getting
so
videos up
sweet.
because you gotta share that gift with the world because you are funny and you're young. Like, there's a connection, you know, I'm I'm your mother in comedy, so I
Yeah, but
can't
you
reach
could
the people
honestly,
you can
you could
reach.
be my older sister, honestly. I don't see you
Thank
as
you.
like, I feel like you think you're old, but you're literally not old.
Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you for saying that. I'll
Yeah,
Venmo you some
no.
money later. But, no, like, you are funny, and I would love to have you back on. Let's touch base maybe down the road, and, I can't wait to see, what you got coming up in the future, and, because you are fun, and you're fun to watch, and, yeah, I think God's got great
I hope
plans
I
for
wasn't
you.
too boring. I don't know.
No, you know what? If you were to come on here and try to be funny the whole time, that's a whole nother like, let's just this is
Yeah.
about just kinda I wanna hear your story. I don't wanna hear your set, which actually I kinda
Okay.
wouldn't mind hearing your set, but, like, that's not what we're doing here. But I'm sure
Okay.
you have TikTok, you're on all these social accounts, so
Yeah.
if people follow you, they can get clips and little snippets of what you do, which, definitely check out Adeline Turner. She's a very funny stand-up comedian, and I believe she's gonna just continue to grow and get out there. And I just can't wait to see what God's got for you in the future.
Oh
So,
no, you would start buffering right at the end. Hold
oh.
on. I missed that.
Have I stopped buffering? Have I stopped? Oh my gosh, you're doing that thing. So maybe I've disappeared. Have I disappeared? Oh no. You know what I didn't do?
I wish could record the way your voice sounds right now. It literally sounds
Oh
like
my gosh. Well, and this end, we're doing okay. So we're going to wrap it up and just hope to God what you see is not what I see. So, anyway, thanks for coming on today, Adeline, and we'll see you again
thank
soon.
you so much. Honestly, like I couldn't have imagined doing it with anyone else. Like I feel like
Mm.
you're amazing and it's very admirable that you have this podcast. Like
Ah,
I love it.
ah.
Thank
Well,
you again and enjoy the rest of your day and you'll be in my thoughts
all right.
and
Thanks,
my
Adeline.
prayers. I don't know if you can hear me. Like you're completely frozen on my end, so I feel like I'm just talking to myself. But
Okay. Well, we'll close it here. All right. Y'all have a great day, and we'll see y'all next time.